So, is it just me, or do short weeks make you tired? Because normally I'm a little hype when I get to wind down Wednesday. That's why I say I need to wind down because I be hyped. I really want to take a nap, and I don't know if it's because of the holiday coming on Monday. I hope y'all had an amazing Labor Day. I surely did. It'll be a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. But I'm just glad that you're taking a moment to come in and chill with me on this Wind Down Wednesday here at Get to Know Bob. I'm your host, Sonia Weaver, founder of Deals with Bob, and I am just overjoyed for another day. Can you get excited for another day? You know, the sun is shining, and even if it wasn't, I'm still going to rejoice because, I was able to see it. I was able to speak, think, function, all the senses working, all that. So it's been a good day, even though I want to take a nap. I really do want to take a nap. So after the show, y'all, don't call me. Don't call, don't text. I am going to bed. Yes, I'm gonna go to bed early. I don't know. Maybe because I worked out this morning. Maybe, but that typically gives you energy. I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you, your girl's going to bed after the show. That's all I'm saying. So I am just glad for this conversation. I just love when this guest comes on because it's an opportunity for really you guys to get all the information you need, right? We're going to be talking about property, ownership, programs, all kinds of stuff. Get you what you need, okay? Because we definitely believe in wealth here, and we know that owning property is a way of accumulating wealth. So we definitely have to have these conversations. So get excited for them. Tell a friend. Make sure you share as we're going to have an amazing conversation this evening. But to kick it off, we have to start with tonight's look. So tonight's look, I think last week I didn't do any eye makeup. I decided to do a little bit, have my eyes kind of woo, so you can see them, like them, woo. But most importantly, the lips are popping. So if you remember last week, I had on purples. And for those of you who watched the show, you're going to be eligible for Deals with Bob's deal of the day. Okay, so Deals with Bob, deal of the day, we are starting to give out like our free gifts all the time, right? So the free gift is going to be what I have on this week, this popping color. So before let me get back to me so you can see this popping color. Now I'm gonna tell you, this doesn't give it justice. If you see me in person, you're gonna be like, OMG, I want that. So I'm telling you, you go want it. In order to get it, you have to tell me what Bob did I have on last week, because that Bob on last week is the same Bob I have on today with this popping color. So if you want this and you want that free gift from Deals with Bob with our deal of the day, then you go ahead and leave it in the comments, in the chat, whatever, the Bob that I had on last week. Now, if you're watching the show today and you don't know, I'm just going to give you a clue on how to find out. Watch last week's show. What? So really, I'm really giving it away to you. All you got to take the time is watch last week's show and you'll find the answers to this week. So the first person who puts that in the chat or who puts that in the comments will get that free gift from Deals with Bob, from that Bob. All righty. See, make things really, really, really simple, don't I? Also, we're moving right into our Support 7 Bob challenge. Now, here's the thing. I am part of the Western Wayne NAACP, and we have an upcoming Freedom Fund dinner. Just to show you how serious I am about you taking the pledge. Yeah, I'm serious about you taking the pledge, the Support 7 Bob pledge. So what does that mean? You're going to support 7 Black-owned businesses every week, okay? You can do that by your time, meaning volunteering, promoting their events, sharing their information with people who need their products and services, or you can support them financially, having your receipts, invoice, whatever the case may be. But if you can tell me the 7 BOBs you supported, and I'm not going to make it like easy because I've been doing this pledge for you guys, I would say more than 6 months. So it should be kind of easy for you to support, especially when we're supporting with our time. Now, I do want to see some mixture in there. So I'm not going to say, maybe I will, since I'm the one, giving away the gift. Let me think about it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to give away tickets to our Freedom Fund dinner coming up in October. And all I want you to do is support Bob to get the tickets. But I have to put some actual, because this is coming off my head, so I can't really do it that way. I have to actually have it in writing and have it exactly what it is so I can promote it, so you know exactly what you need in order to qualify. But it is going to be supporting 7 BOBs a week. Whether I need you to do it for 1 week, 2, 3 weeks, because I'm thinking I want some consistency for these tickets, because I'm telling you, you're going to want to be in the room at this Freedom Fund dinner. If you have a BOB, a business, if you want to do a nonprofit, if you just want your voice heard, the people that are going to be in this room are amazing. And the thing is that our Freedom Fund dinner is small enough for you to actually have an opportunity to speak with them. So who wouldn't want to take an opportunity to speak with the governor or the lieutenant governor or our senators or whoever else might be present, right? Or some phenomenal business owners, right? Founders of nonprofits. It's going to be amazing people in the room. And so I'm just going to give you a ticket to be there, but I want you to at least show your support of Black-owned businesses. I think that's a fair trade, wouldn't you say? So if you haven't taken the pledge, make sure you take the pledge. And now it's a reason behind it. Even though there was always a reason. The reason is to support our community, to recirculate the dollars, even to get self-satisfaction in doing so. So I'm just giving you another reason in order to support 7 BOBs a week. So if you haven't taken a pledge, again, make sure you do. Now, so we're moving right on to Deals with Bob's nonprofit of the day. I am so excited for this one. We are featuring a girl like me. Tagline, helping all girls at a time. A Girl Like Me, Inc. is a nonprofit organization that helps girls, teens, teen moms, and young moms between the ages of 11 to 25. They provide free diapers, wipes, baby milk, and food. New and gently used baby items, clothing and shoes, and personal hygiene kits. They also provide resources and a mentoring program for girls, moms, and young moms between ages of 11 to 17. They strive in helping all girls, teens, teen moms, and young moms with the struggles they may be facing. A Girl Like Me Incorporated is committing to creating a diverse environment. They have a no judgment zone regarding to race, color, religion, gender identity or expression, sexual orientation, national origin, genetics, or disabilities. Their mission is to educate and encourage girls, teens, teen moms, and young moms between ages of 11 to 25 to make healthy life choices, to help deliver new possibilities through life skill classes, coaching, goal setting, and character development, to help build their confidence and empower them all to excel. Hashtag helping all girls at a time. I'm sure with all of that information about A Girl Like Me, you understand why they are Deals with Bob's nonprofit of the week. As we now move into our featured business of the week, our featured business of the week is Phlebotomy Express Training Centers. So take a little clip of what they do. We're in back to school time. Now, I know some schools went back early, but traditionally, we all know right after Labor Day is back to school time. And Phlebotomy Express Training Centers has their back to school promotions going on as well. For phlebotomy technician 2-week classes held on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4:30 to 8:30, September 13th through the 22nd. They're taking registrations as we speak. They also have a 2-week phlebotomy technician class on Saturdays and Sundays. That will go from October 29th through November 6th. Now, to register for either class, you are going to go to 313-341-5344. Once again, Phlebotomy Express Training Centers, phlebotomy technician classes at 313-341-5344. Now, they also offer other courses. So if you want to do medical assisting, get CPR training, just visit their website for more additional information. They are Deals with Bob's featured business this week. Now let's go into our deals for our consumer members. This is another part I love. So get your pen and paper or your pencil or even your cell phone, but take some notes so you would know what deals are out there for you consumer members. We're kicking it off with Deals with Bob's, offering 15% off premium services. Today's Smile is offering 50% off whitening. Mona Lisa's Lyrics is offering 15% off event packages. Woo, Women Helping Empower Winners is offering free registration or free consultation. Phlebotomy Express Training Center is offering 10% off. So consumer members, as we just had them as our featured business this week, you can get an extra 10% off those phlebotomy technician courses. Linked LLC is offering 50% off +1 or free +3. Tax Divas is offering 10% off or free registration, free consultation, or free gift. Tranquility Christian Counseling is offering 10% off events. Bright Tech Communications is offering 10% off. Boss Entertainment Group is offering 10% off. MCS Financial Services Incorporated is offering 15% off. And the Amazing Women Network is offering 20% off AWN merchandise or 20% off financial services. And if you are a business owner and you want to offer deals, discounts, giveaways, and rewards to our consumer member, please visit www.dealswithbob.com and join today. Now, to become a consumer member, all you would need to do is go to www.dealswithbob.com, click on consumer sign up, and join today. Business owners, remember, we want you to sign up for one of those annual packages where your consumer membership is included. And as a business owner, you too can benefit from those amazing deals, discounts, giveaways, and rewards. So do not put down your pen and paper because we are about to get you stayed connected. Okay, there are so many things going on. I mean, if you thought it was a lot before because we were entering the holiday, we constantly have things going on. So get your calendar out, get your notebooks out. If they were really should already be out, right? But do whatever you need to do in order to make sure you jot this information down so you don't miss what's going on. Now, this happened already, but I decided to add it because I had such an amazing time. This past Labor Day weekend, I told you that King Mellow Man and Mellow Runnings was playing on the international stage at Arts, Beats, and Eats. And that happened on Sunday, September 4th at 8 p.m. Yours truly was the host. So I decided to put up a picture. As you can see, I had the mic in my hand and I was doing my thing. And I had on me a Bob Marley skirt. I mean, I actually looked up when I purchased it and I had it just for that event and got so many compliments on having it. So, shout out to all of my reggae loving friends, because let me tell you, when you listen to King Mellow Man, you will get a reggae vibe, but you will also get a little bit of R&B, a little bit of calypso, some Caribbean soul added into there, and some dance hall. So I'm just telling you, if you miss them, you better make sure the next time I tell you to stay connected when they're playing somewhere that you go check them out. It was an amazing, amazing performance. Coming up on Saturday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. is a home buyers workshop presented by Kenneth Scott, who will be your host. You can call 313-819-7065 for more information. The topics will include Fair Housing Act of 1968, understanding credit, making a budget, up to $20,000 in down payment assistance program, and so much more. To RSVP, text future homeowner to 313-819-7065. Recession Ready Home Buying and Financial Empowerment happens September 10th at 10 a.m. To register, you go to www.bit.ly/3AGLGGM. Seating is limited. You must register to attend. Clothing giveaway. Everything is free and new. Christ Temple Apostolic Faith Church at the corner of Eaton and Middle Belt. This is happening Saturday, September 10th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Must wear mask. Social distancing is being enforced. A day of service for September 11th is happening and being presented by We Three Queens Community Outreach Incorporated and Sterling Legacy Incorporated. This gift basket and 50-50 raffle giveaway will be happening. Come and see the Art Village in the back lot at 17336 Lasher Road from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Bust the Gut Pool Party Comedy Show is happening on September 11th, and it is $25. Tickets can be purchased by contacting Jazzy No Nonsense the Poet or Gemini the Comedian at 248-508-2094 or 313-721-5202. JBWC, Just Because We Care Business Shower is Monday, September 12th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Innovation Technology Skills Trade Job Fair is Wednesday, September 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Booker T. Dozier Recreation Center, located at 2025 Middle Belt Road in Inkster, Michigan. Terrence Quinn is presenting Wills and Trust Friday, September 16th at 12 p.m. via Zoom. He will be joined by Jamil Williams, attorney at the TGQ Law Firm. To register, go to www.tgqlaw.com www.oakgrove.org/events. Oak Grove AME Church is having the 36th annual Masters Men Fish Fry Friday and Saturday, September 16th and 17th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure you save the dates. Donations at $15. Located at 19801 Cherry Lawn at Pembroke. Kids and Cooking with guest chef Khalees Watts. Design your own recipe book, make a dessert, and decorate your apron. Saturday, September 17th from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at Leanna Hooks Public Library, located at 2500 Hamlin Drive, Inkster, Michigan. This is for children ages 5 through 11. September 24th, 2022, Black College Expo is coming to Detroit. Make sure you save the date. And let us support you and your event by adding it to our Stay Connected page. Visit www.dealswithbob.com and contact us today. I told you it was a lot going on, and there's still so much more coming. I am always so excited. Please, like I said, make sure you send us the information that is happening that you want the community to know about, to share. We love highlighting what is going on within our communities. Now, here's the part of the show I know you've been waiting for. On tonight's show, we're having the amazing Kenneth Scott from CSW Real Estate. Hi, Ken. Welcome again. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am awesome. It is so great to have you as always.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, people didn't see you cheering. It was like you were cheering for a couple of things that were going on in the community.
I know a couple of those folks.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Not to mention the largest fish fry in town, which is being held at Oak Grove next weekend. I'm actually a member of Oak Grove. I've been a member since December of 1997. As well as I'm a seller of the fish fry tickets. So if anybody wants some tickets, just give me a call.
Okay, awesome. Now, here's a little known fact.
Mm-hmm.
I was a member of Oak Grove AME.
You were?
I sure was when it was Reverend Jessica and the Ingrams.
Absolutely.
Were you there with the Ingrams?
Very much so. That's
really?
when I started with them.
Okay, so we like was in passing and didn't know it.
Now the question to ask is, what service did you go to though?
Oh, 8:30 or 8 a.m., whichever the early service.
And that's why we missed each other, because I went to the 11.
Okay, but see, my cousin was the musician that's over everything.
Musical director?
Yes.
What's your cousin's name?
I mean, he's deceased now. But
what was his name?
Ron.
Oh man, I definitely remember Ron.
Yeah,
I remember the tribute that they made to him after he had died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he was everything. I mean, Oak Grove has a history of having one of the best choirs in the state of Michigan, if not the world. And Ron was a very important asset to that. So no, I definitely remember him.
Do you remember the song? Do you remember the song he choreographed for it? I'm glad that you are here.
Okay.
AME.
He did that?
See, we're on business for the king.
Okay, all right. I didn't know he had done that.
Yeah, he wrote it and did the music and everything.
Oh, I mean, when I first joined Oak Grove, I remember saying, I'm going to visit this church for about a month, and I will determine whether this is the church for me. and I joined my first week.
Really?
Yeah, I joined
Okay.
my first week.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and I've had some lifelong friendships after that.
Yeah, I can see why. I can see
Yeah.
why.
And
I
the Masters,
enjoyed
man, is just incredible.
yeah, I enjoyed my time at Oak Grove. It really developed my Christian walk, so I can
Okay.
understand. I can
So when you
understand.
coming back?
Well, I love my church I'm at now.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right.
And I'm no longer in the city, so
Okay. Well, you know that 11 o'clock service and everything was still, it's still calling you and everything. All right.
well, before we start our conversation, I have
Uh,
to respect the fact that I know people might be actually tuning in for the first time and meeting you for the first time. So I need to at least give you the opportunity to self introduce, let people know not only who you are, but what you do and why you do what you do.
okay. I love what I do. I am a real estate broker for CSW Real Estate. I've been in business since 2006. I've been in the real estate business since 1998. And you could actually say that I was groomed for the business because my grandparents had 16 kids, which all of them were in real estate at one point in time. Some of the next generation were either in real estate, in some form of housing, whether it be investing, whether it be property management, whether it be wholesale, whether it be commercial development, whatever the case may be. And I'm also housing counselor for two organizations within the city of Detroit, which I find a lot of pride in as far as helping people with home ownership or attaining home ownership, um, and accumulating black wealth.
I love it. I love it. Now, if you need to know a little bit more about Ken, here's the thing. We're not going to go into that tonight because we have a upcoming event that we want to take majority of the time to make sure we discuss. But what I need you guys to do is to make sure you jot down these dates because Ken is like I say, he's a favorite here at Get to Know Bob because of what he does, because of his passion but about what he does, the work that he does in the community, all of that. I mean, he has to come on more than once just so we can get through everything that Ken does. But so if you want to know a little bit more about him as a person, some of the other things that he has done, make sure you take down May 4th of this year and rewatch that episode in June 1st of this year and rewatch that episode. You can also go over to our Instagram channel and you can see a couple of other episodes in which Ken was a guest of ours to actually just keep continuing to get to know a little bit more about Mr. Ken Scott.
Well, thank you, Sonia.
So if you watched the preview, of course, you will see that we have an event that we had on our Stay Connected page that you are the host of. And
Yeah.
so it's a lot of moving parts on here. I would like you to kind of go into when you have an opportunity, the bullets of what people are going to get from attending the workshop. But I also just want you to add whatever else that people really need to hear so that they understand the importance of attending.
Okay. In this particular seminar, which is given by the Narab Investment Division, is an organization that was started to help blacks attain home ownership. The Narab organization itself is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. It was started in 1947, and this was at a time when we had to sue for blacks to sell real estate in the country.
Uh,
Okay. So once we attained that through legislation, we were allowed to set up our own organization, which is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. And in doing so, we found it necessary to start our own nonprofit in order to help people attain home ownership, which is the NARAB Investment Division, which is the HUD housing counseling component of NARAB. Um, we are at a critical time at this point in time in the city, the state, in the country, where black home ownership has fallen to its lowest levels in a number of years, either through foreclosure, either through bankruptcy, either through the pandemic or the COVID era. And what we're trying to do is increase black home ownership throughout the Tri County area. We hold these forums every month. Usually they're the second of every month, second Saturday of every month. But at the same time, we decided to turn up the fire a little. What we're basically doing is creating more forums in more places where we can reach out to the public in order to generate home ownership. And home ownership is the segue to black wealth. So what we're trying to do is increase black wealth. Um, we have a number of tools in order to help individuals reach black wealth and home ownership. Surprisingly enough, I got the news a few months ago that the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, had actually passed a law with the state legislature, both the House of Representatives and the Senate, called the First Time Home Buyer Savings Account Program.
Okay.
And that's a program where any savings or any money that you put away for anyone's home ownership goals, provided they want to attain primary home ownership, is tax deductible. And you
Okay.
can contribute anywhere from 5,000 per year or 10,000 jointly off your tax returns. Is tax deductible, and you help your child, you help an individual attain home ownership for a number of years. Now, this can go on for a number of years. You can put away a little at a time for your child's home purchase, or you can put it away for a relative or another a friend or whatever the case may be, as long as you're helping them. For a long time, FHA would allow you to gift funds, okay, but at the same time, what wasn't included in that was the tax deduction.
Okay.
Now you can do that with a tax deduction, and you don't have to expect that back or what have you. You're deducting that from your taxes, but at the same time, you're helping an individual attain home ownership. So that
Okay.
was done on February 9th of this year.
Okay.
And that's going to help tremendously. The other things are on the flyer itself. Um, in 1968, um, Congress passed a law for the Fair Housing Act, which would abate discrimination, whether it be religious, race, sex, disability, national origin, sexual orientation. Now, a number of factors that were prohibiting us from being homeowners. So
Mhm.
now those laws are in place, and this is the what is it, the 54th year anniversary of that law. Then we have a situation where all of us are aware, because we've all endured it at some point in time, is the credit situation.
Mhm.
Our credit has gone down for a number of factors, whether it be some people attribute it to inflation. I don't necessarily agree with that, but it is a contributing factor. But at the same time, you've been laid off work, you've been underemployed, you've been unemployed, uh, you've had sickness, death in your family, and what have you. You're dependent upon someone who is no longer here. So a number of factors affect your credit, whether it be low, poor, or non-existent. We're in the business of helping that individual attain home ownership. It didn't take them. It didn't get. They didn't get there overnight, and they're not going to correct it overnight. So at the same time, there's a process that's involved in the understanding your credit and getting your credit to the point where it should be. And I'm going to touch on that a little more later on. Making a budget. I don't know of too many people that actually make a budget in their own household. Oh, you make one? Okay. All right.
I
Well, let me.
work I work from a budget
All
every
right.
single month.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, What probably contributed to that is you're a business owner as well, correct?
Was I doing well? I think I would have to think about that. I
Okay.
almost think I might have been doing the budget before the businesses.
Okay. That's even
Um,
more important
but
because
it's
you
because I'm extremely frugal, and like some of the things that you were saying, when we went through the first recession, or not, it wasn't a recession, but when the housing market went all
right,
crazy and that kind
foreclosure
of stuff.
market.
Yes. So it might have been more so around that time I started, the budget type of thing.
Uh-huh.
Because I just had a home built and I refused to lose it. So I had to
Okay.
be very aware and actually see where stuff was going
Absolutely.
in
And
order to
that's the essence of a budget, knowing how much money is coming in and how much money is going out.
Mhm.
Okay, so we help individuals understand that. Then, over the last few months, what I've developed is a panel of some of the most astute individuals in the mortgage industry to come in and teach people about their particular programs at their particular financial institutions. Some of them are banks, some of them are credit unions, some of them are nonprofits, and some of them are mortgage brokers. But at the same time, you get a balanced understanding of what program is specifically unique to you. So that individual can use that program in order to attain homeownership. Now, the one thing that we know as a HUD counselor is the fact that you can approach all of these entities within a 30-day period, and it will only count as one hard hit on your credit. However, if you go to 31 days, all of a sudden that starts messing your credit up with several hard hits
Right,
consecutively. So,
right.
one of the things we want to do is stay within that 30-day window. The other thing is there is up to $20,000 in down payment assistance. And depending on if you can bundle it with another a down payment assistance program, it could exceed the 20,000. Because I do know of one program that exceeds 20,000 up to 25. Now, those programs come in grants and loans. I only know of one entity that does a grant, and that's based in the city of Detroit, and
Okay.
you can only purchase a home within the city of Detroit utilizing it. The 20,000, it could be utilized for any individual that works at DPSCD.
Okay.
So whether you're a janitor, whether you're a secretary, whether you're a teacher, a principal, whatever the case may be, security guard, whatever, you can assess that 20,000, provided you are not hampered by student loans. Now that's a rarity, but at the same time, it does exist. Then you have shopping for a home. We have a number of entities within the city of Detroit and elsewhere that you can purchase a home from. You can purchase it from the seller, you can purchase it from the land bank, you can purchase it from the treasurer's office, or whatever the case may be. But at the same time, you need to be cognizant of the rules of the purchase. And a lot of contingencies go along with that purchase. Making an offer, a lot of people at the beginning of this year lost out on bids for homes because it was a highly competitive market. That no longer exists to the extent that it did in the first 6 months. So you might be more apt to get your offer accepted within the last 6 months of the year.
Mm.
Let's see, getting your offer accepted, that goes without saying. Inspecting the home. There are certain provisions that are FHA and VA requirements, and then there are certain provisions that are conventional. You have to know the difference. Your realtor or realtors have to know the difference. And of course, our ultimate goal is closing on your new home. And that's where we want to take you through the process on Saturday.
Okay, awesome. This is going to run from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And with everything in which Ken just went down, you see why it's not going to be rushed. Like why they needed some time. So in
Exactly.
order for you to be in the room, they need to do what?
You can call to RSVP, text future home owner to 313-819-7065. Leave your first and last name and your email address, and you'll be contacted shortly because we only have a couple of more days to register.
Okay. Okay, awesome, awesome. We're gonna just say we have a guest saying, "Good evening, Mr. Scott. Welcome." So
Thank you.
yes.
Mhm.
Um, now we're gonna kind of get us back a little bit maximized because
Okay.
I had so much as you were saying. Now the first pen that I need to make sure I didn't. Well, I'm not surprised, but
Mm.
we had to have a fight and then an organization, right? If I'm hearing this correctly, put in place because blacks were unable to sell real estate. So did I hear that correctly?
Absolutely, absolutely. We were stopped from selling real estate prior to 1947.
Hmm.
Okay, we
Okay.
did not have that right.
Okay. Could we own property?
We could own it, but at the same time, in most cases, it was like a sharecropper type situation where
Right.
you had to spend X amount of years, and then it was similar to a land contract or a rent to own, where if
Mhm.
you missed a payment or what have you, you defaulted on it, and it was their property again. Hence,
Wow.
we have a lot of gentrification going on because, and I mentioned this earlier in a presentation that I was doing with community groups. If you have an opportunity to sell a property,
Mhm.
please do not sell it to a cash buyer unless it's just a small little property. But at the same time, our preference is for you to sell it to a primary homeowner, okay? Because
Mhm.
what you're doing is you're pricing our community out of home ownership. You're
Oh.
you're taking them out of the mix. And there are a lot of people calling homeowners presently that are corporations, that are hedge fund managers, offering to buy the person's home and what have you. They're actually competing with the buyers that are out there in the market. So
Okay.
a person that wants to invest in your community, wants to beautify your community, wants to make a home in your community with their family and what have you, they're denied because you chose the easiest route out and what have you, and they could have had a vested interest in your community. Your people, your black people, your
Right.
black neighbors, your black family and friends are denied home ownership because you chose to sell it to the fastest outlet possible and deny them home ownership while you had it all along.
And I don't know if most people even consider what you just said, Ken. I do know that my daughter is going through the process,
Hmm.
and I know she included like a letter, but I told her to stay firm on her offer as far
Hmm.
as because she did all the research, she made a sound. It was, she looked at her budget and all of those things that you kind of were sharing that you kind of would learn in the process of home ownership. And long to the short, they accepted.
Excellent.
But I didn't tell her about the letter piece. But as you're speaking, I guess that's unique. It makes you think about that you're actually going to be selling, and they're going to be creating like a new life, new memories, new all
Absolutely.
this stuff within a home. And she gave a reason, and why she wanted their home through this
What
letter.
was she taught that, or was she coached, or did she just think of that on her own?
I didn't ask,
Okay.
but
Because
maybe I will,
that
because
is one of the most important things you could do when you're making an offer on a home.
really.
You want to personalize it. Okay. If you have that opportunity and the listing agent or a seller's agent is willing to allow you to write that letter or present to the seller, actually present to the seller, then what you're saying is the home that you've enjoyed over the years with you and your family, watching your kids grow up, watching them go to the area schools and what have you. I'd like to duplicate that
Mm,
with
mm,
mine.
right.
Okay. And I hope that you will consider my offer for that very reason.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Now I'm
So
I'm
that's
tell-
community.
that is
That's
community.
putting neighbor back into the neighborhood. Okay.
Exactly. And allowing life to be there because, she's
So
starting with, a young child who's going to grow up, so it's kind of like you said, it is continuing the legacy of the neighborhood and allowing it to continue to
absolutely.
thrive. I,
Even considering all the denial that we had years before that.
yeah,
Someone gave that seller an opportunity to buy that home in a neighborhood where we were once denied.
true. That's true. And I guess I put some couple of notes down that I wanted you to elaborate on.
Okay.
You kind of talked about a little bit, but I put a why when you said your goal is to increase Black ownership. Now, of course, I'm saying why because I don't know who might be watching it, and I
Okay.
want to make sure that's emphasized as
Okay.
to the reason why, especially from a personal standpoint,
Mhm.
you want to increase Black ownership of property.
The reason being is through all of the errors that the United States has gone through, and all of the errors that ERAS, that the city of Detroit and surrounding suburbs have gone through, whether it be the foreclosure market, whether it be the bankruptcy, whether it be the COVID era. During that course of time, we weren't in the best position financially to retain home ownership. So we either lost it or sold it as a means to just survive. And in doing so, through all this process and what have you, and processes, um, we lost homes and unfortunately weren't able to recover.
Mm, yeah.
Weren't able to recover. I mean, I can count the number of individuals that I lost personally from family and friends through COVID. They amount to over 60 people. Now,
Yes.
I know a great percentage of them were homeowners.
Mhm.
Where did that home go after they died?
Right.
Was their family able to sustain home ownership once they died?
Mhm.
Where did the house go? Did it go to the state, county, whatever the case may be, or city, whatever the case may be? But at the same time, we lost it during those three periods: the foreclosure, the
Yeah.
bankruptcy, the COVID era.
Now, in
We,
this
we
loss,
lost it
because
because of unemployment and underemployment
right, and you
and
mentioned that.
sickness and death.
Now, in this loss, or even in the retention of it, you said that the home ownership is a segue into Black wealth. Most people look at then home ownership as of course, we hear the word equity. Like if you have a home,
Very
your
much so.
home gets value, you have equity. But is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about when you say Black wealth?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
In its heyday, when we were probably the most sound of all the times, which was probably around the latter 1990s, early part of the 2000s, excuse me. At that point in time, we were using that property as a bank. Okay. We were, the more we paid into it, the more it accumulated over time. The more we were allowed to go on vacation, the more we were allowed to send our children to college or whatever their aspirations were, the more we were allowed to live in a comfortable lifestyle like we should.
Right.
Then all of that got disrupted somewhere around 2006 and 2007. Okay, there are homes that were in the city of Detroit that are no longer here. They were demolished. They were sold to individuals that didn't have our best interests at heart. And after all the time that our families had spent growing up in those homes, accumulating wealth and what have you, it was snatched from us
Mm.
with no way to get it back.
Wow.
Okay.
It was
So
snatched.
snatched.
Mm.
Okay. Because in a lot of cases, the banks didn't give us an opportunity to make amends for the arrears in the home.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. They took the home. They said they didn't want the house, but they took the house from an individual or family that had spent
Mm.
years accumulating equity.
Mm.
And then they're wondering why their numbers look so bad around the latter part of 20,000. Okay. All right. Then all of a sudden they realize that, hey, we lost all this market share, but at the same time, how do we get some of that back? You start creating programs that can make it easier for blacks to attain home ownership in the areas where blacks only wanted to live in most cases.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can't tear everything down because that would be a housing crisis like no other. So
Right.
what you did
Right.
was you start creating programs, portfolio products, and what have you. You created down payment assistance programs that would allow blacks to accumulate wealth. And on top of that, you start creating underwriting guidelines that were sensitive to the black community, that had
Mm.
lower credit provisions in it that would allow us to buy the home. Okay. Then you have a situation where President Biden paid or is created a bill where signed off on a bill where 10,000 was uh, forgiven and 20,000 in Pell Grants were forgiven. Pell Grants were mostly accumulated or requested by blacks. Okay, so that was a situation where that stopped us from attaining home ownership.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
because of the penalties involved, they accumulated year after year after year, and before you know it, that's your heaviest debt load.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so thank God he did that, but the Republicans are falling, are squawking about it and saying, "Hey, they
I
don't
know.
deserve that.
I know. I
They
know.
don't
I know.
deserve
I
that."
know.
And then there were situations where Navient had issued bad student loans and what have you, and the lawsuit that was against them was a class action suit that made them forgive all of the Navient student loans.
Oh wow.
Okay, so now some people are relieved of student loans, some people still dealing with student loans, and it's still a prohibiting factor as far as whether a person can buy a home or not, particularly black community, whether they
No,
can buy a home or not.
right. Now you mentioned one other thing, and our time again, Ken. This is why you keep coming back. Our time again is almost to this end.
Okay,
But another thing that I know impacts us from home ownership is that credit score.
absolutely.
So if you had to, at least, we're just going to say, from your knowledge, from your expertise, if you had to give a range so that people can, because some people might be like, I can't get it, I can't get it, I can't get it, and they credit might be where they can. But
Exactly.
we're brainwashed to thinking like we got to have an 800 or something.
Okay.
So what would that ideal range be for someone to target to start saying, okay, I'm positioned a little bit better for a possibility of home
Mhm.
ownership?
The best range is somewhere between 620 and 660. Now, keep in mind that everybody doesn't have those requirements. There are some financial institutions that ask for less. There are some that ask for more. But understand this: the higher your credit score is, the lower your interest rate. Why are most people fearful of home ownership
Right.
right now? Because of the interest rate. If you
Right.
have a high credit score and a low interest rate, then you are more apt to pull that switch when it comes to buying a home presently.
Mhm.
Don't you want to be in that position? The other thing
Exactly.
is, the other thing is, I want to suggest this to everyone. Think about the last 12 months of you paying your bills. Have you paid your bills on time?
Mm. Mhm. Mhm.
If you've done it in the last 12 months, can you say that about the last 24 months? Because it's your most recent credit that affects all of your buying power.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. It's not about what happened 5 years ago when all hell was breaking loose.
Mhm.
Okay. And you didn't know where you were going to get your next
Right.
dollar and everything.
It was
Okay.
crazy.
All
Right.
right. The banks want to know, did you evolve from that 5 year period to
Yeah.
that 24 month or that 12-month period? If
Mhm.
you've evolved, then your credit score has risen because
Right.
you've done the necessary work to increase that score.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's the reason why that last 12 to 24 months is very important, because they want to know if you evolved before they risk loaning you money.
Right. Which makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, it
Absolutely.
makes sense. But
Absolutely.
I was a little surprised at the score that you said. So I'm glad I asked that question.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we had a
Understand this. You need to make it a game to increase your credit score at least 10 to 20 points, at least 6 months to a year.
uh-huh.
Okay.
I played the game and I
Okay.
watched it go, and then I was like, okay, I knew what I knew it was gonna take a hit, but it took
Uh-huh.
a hit for a reason. So I went
Absolutely.
into it for a reason to increase the credit platform. So
All
I
right.
mean, it is a game.
One last thing. And I'm glad you mentioned that. You took a hit for a certain amount of time. One of the things that we don't do as blacks, when we run into a difficult situation and we know it's going to be reflected on Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian credit reports, then you need to write a letter stating that from this time to this time, I was laid off. From this time to this time, I couldn't afford my car payment. I wanted to extend it out and everything, but at the same time, the company wouldn't allow me to do it because I had underemployment, if
Right.
not employment. So write a letter explaining your situation, and they will look more favorably on your situation and be less harsh as it relates to establishing credit or providing you credit.
And I agree with that. Mine took a hit that was different. Mine
Mhm.
was a strategic hit. Mine was
Okay,
increase the credit platform and then utilization of credit, which will take
absolutely.
a hit, but you go rebound from it within a couple of months.
Very much so. And the other thing is, you don't need to hire an attorney or someone to pay your credit off. You can do that. Okay, only thing you have to do is create a plan to pay it off within 3 to 6 to a year's time,
Uh-huh.
and you won't have to pay any other entity that supposedly is working for you in order to increase your credit score when you can do it yourself.
That's true. That is
Okay,
true.
just,
Okay, Ken,
just saying.
we are actually at the end of our time. I'm going to read that last comment that came in, and this has to pertain to getting the previous sellers to know the who you are. Said
Mhm.
my husband and I were welcomed into our neighborhood by the sellers when we made it the offer. I mentioned that I was a Christian.
Mhm.
And so that came from Barbara Biggs. And
Okay,
so you
excellent.
write those personal letters, you
Congratulations.
go a long way. Now, Kim, before we leave, of course, we have to let people know how they can get in touch with you. How can they contact you? How, if they want to work with you, because you're a broker. That means it's not just home ownership, it is also business properties, correct? It is
Very
also if
much
you
so.
are looking just to purchase properties for investment purposes. So,
Correct.
how can they get in touch with you?
Phone number is 313-819-7065. That's 313-819-7065. And you can also attend our home buyer ed class on Saturday from 10 to 3 by utilizing that same number, stating that you want to be a future homeowner. And that's by texting that information to the phone number 313-819-7065 and putting in your first and last name and your email address. And I will get back to you shortly because, again, the seminar is on Saturday from 10 to 3. And
Awesome.
it's virtual. Oh, and Sonia, let me give this out to you. For those individuals that want to attend, the meeting ID is 933 641 8109. That's 933 641 8109. And the passcode is 123456. Can we get any simpler than that?
I
Okay.
was like, this is
I'm trying to make it easy. I'm trying to make it
one,
easy.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. Okay.
Oh, awesome. Now, I normally ask this question. People say, she
Yeah.
didn't ask the question about the book. What book is on your nightstand that you recently read or highly recommend reading?
Um, I want to tell you something. This book has stayed with me for years. From the moment I read it, the moment I read the first chapter, and it's the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing.
22
Immutable Laws of Marketing by Al
Immutable
Rice and Jack Troutman. Jack Trout.
Laws of Marketing. Okay.
If you're a business owner, it's absolutely necessary for you to purchase that book.
Okay. Business owners, do you hear that? Highly recommend
Business owner is highly recommended
22 Immutable Laws of
of
Marketing.
marketing
Make sure you
because it
get it.
will teach you what you're doing wrong and what you could be doing right in order to create a greater market share.
I love it. I love
Mhm.
it. Now, as we wind down, is there anything that you haven't touched on that you absolutely want to make sure that you mention on this evening?
Yes. The credit score that you had in the past, whether it was real bad, uh, to the point where you didn't even look at the mail or uh, answer the phone because of the voicemail, what do you call it?
So we all been there.
The caller ID. Okay. You need to start answering the phone. You need to start opening your mail so you'll know what debt you have.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing the debt is the only way to really get a handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
Always suggest that people go to annualcreditreport.com, get all three credit reports pulled for free.
Mm-hmm.
Don't sign up for anything. Don't check any boxes on that site. Just ask for your Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian credit reports. Reconcile them. Find out which ones are yours, whether it be through your name, whether it be through your address or past addresses, your past employers or employers, and the accounts and the account balances. Make sure that all of that is you and no one else.
Right.
And then at that point in time, you start knocking them off one by one.
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, your credit score will increase more so than you could have ever imagined.
Right. Right.
When you didn't open your mail and looked at that caller ID. Okay.
Yeah,
You gotta identify it before you deal with it.
exactly.
Okay.
Great advice.
Annualcreditreport.com.
Great advice. Love it. Now, as we wind out today, I want to thank you guys for being a part of the conversation. Again, make sure you share this with people, especially if you're watching it on the replay. And I'm going to ask you, as I do all the time, if you have not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel here at Deals with Bob, make sure you subscribe because we want to make sure that these conversations reach everywhere, not just here locally, but everywhere, because the information is still priceless. I mean, checking your credit score is happening everywhere. It's not just limited to the Detroit metropolitan surrounding areas. So we need for you to subscribe. We need for your cousins to subscribe. We need for your friends to subscribe, your neighbors, your enemies to subscribe. But it starts with you subscribing and then sharing it with others. Whew.
I subscribed.
Awesome. Oh, I just want to say thank you all again for your support. I am Sonia Weaver, and as always, I encourage you to spend with purpose because your dollar does matter. And I want you to always deal with Bob. Have a great night.
Thank you, Sonia.